A door acts as a boundary between things, but it can also be a locked barrier, keeping something out. There exist many tales of mystical gateways in tribal and ancient mythologies. And inner worlds, deep within the earth itself, are said to have hidden and even cursed entrances, some even requiring sacred objects to activate them. Once opened, their mysteries become almost an invitation to cross the threshold and wander into these doorways to nowhere.
It seems to be some sort of interdimensional doorway.
The Ayumarca mountain region of southern Peru is home to something strange. It's about 1 hour from the city of Puno, and because of the rugged mountain terrain, it's never been fully explored. It's been long revered by local Indians as the city of the gods. But no city has actually ever been found, although many of the rocks in this area are shaped like buildings, leading to speculation of an incredibly ancient origin. The notorious feature here is a gigantic door, La Puerta de Ayumarca, or Gate of the Gods or Spirits. It's measured as being 7 meters tall and 7 meters wide, or 22.5 feet squared. In the center of this gate, at its base, is a T-shaped alcove, 2 meters in height, or just over 6 feet. Just the right size for a human to pass through. According to some individuals who place their hands on the smaller inner door, they get a rush of energy flowing from it. Strange visions have also been reported, like images of stars, columns of fire, along with the sounds of strange rhythmic music. Seems to be a place of interest to the psychically sensitive. Reports of perceiving some kind of tunnels are common as well. So what's causing this effect? And what can folklore tell us about this doorway? According to ancient legend, when the Spanish arrived in the Incan Empire, an Incan priest named Aramu Moro wanted to stop the Spaniards from obtaining a precious religious artifact. And according to some historians, Aramu belonged to the monastery of the Seven Rays and was master of initiation ceremonies at the Sun Temple in Cusco, which housed the golden solar disk. This magical relic was said to be the sun disk of Mu, and not made from ordinary gold, but transmuted gold. This would have been done through alchemical processes with the use of sacred knowledge, and was described as being a translucent metal. Some believe this divine object dates back tens of thousands of years, being submerged after the destruction and subsequent flood inflicted on its mother civilization in an Atlantis-sounding tale, eventually making its way to the monastery of Seven Rays, where Aramu was witness to the arrival of European conquistadors. The priest fled from the invaders with the object to a safer place in the province, which is the same area where our mysterious door is located. Upon reaching this sacred door, he then placed the sun disk on it as some sort of key, and the door was said to have opened. And after crossing into the portal, he disappeared, never to be seen again. If the legend is true, then we're looking at a dormant, dimensional doorway. And on top of all the strange supernatural phenomena associated with this place, people see strange lights in and around this area. And many religious cults perform rituals here, perhaps trying to contact something that's not even human, something large enough to pass through this gigantic doorway. But we move on now to another bizarre gateway, one that's placed not in the middle of nowhere, but in the heart of civilization, for what seems like a very specific purpose. In late 2018, the government of Washington, D.C. placed the Arch of Palmyra directly in front of the U.S. Capitol building. According to the Digital Institute of Archaeology, this was to celebrate global heritage. But this structure was not erected, but rather resurrected. It's in fact a replica of the ancient arch in Syria that was destroyed by ISIS in 2015. It served as the entrance to the temple complex of the Canaanite god Baal, a deity of power, fertility, and child sacrifice. Before entering the complex, people would have to pass through this archway before worshiping as a sign of subservience or submission. And using the latest 3D printing tech, they have successfully brought this gateway back. And not just in Washington. The Arch of Baal has been risen in London, New York City, and Dubai. But why this arch in these cities? If you look at the position of them in DC and London relative to the temple-like buildings behind them, there may be a spiritual significance going deeper than some photo op. There's almost always an exoteric meaning for the public, and a deeper esoteric meaning hidden symbolically. It's almost an open secret that London and DC themselves have deep Masonic and pagan associations, and it's interesting to note the position of the rotunda in these photos. Many believe that the dome circular structures represent the womb of Isis, or Mother Goddess. Then we have the archway of Baal placed directly in front of it. It seems like an open invitation for someone or something, but I leave such interpretations to you. When speaking about the doorways to nowhere, we have to include the false doorways of ancient Egypt. In the interior of the tombs of pharaohs and priests, they would carve a large door, and the Egyptians believed that the false door was a threshold between the worlds of the living and the dead, through which a deity or spirit of the deceased could enter and exit. And families placed their offerings here for when they decided to cross back over. But being more than just an artistic expression, these sacred entrances were on-ramps to spiritual realms. But to the living, they were encapsulated dead ends. But there may be an actual door holding something tangible and truly unbelievable, and it seems that some want to deny its existence. In March 1935, news hit the world about the discovery of a secret city hidden under the sand dating back 4,000 years. A shaft had been discovered leading to the city, and the world waited to hear more on the excavation, but it never came. There was a sudden loss of interest by all parties involved, also a silence on the subject academically. Conspiratorial rumors spread about an attempt to hide the location of the entrance to the shaft, and it was reportedly in plain sight. Tales of the head of the Sphinx being an entrance to an underground civilization spread from speculation about the dig mixed with older myths. There are also numerous psychic prophecies of rediscovering lost knowledge of the Atlanteans from none other than the chambers beneath the Sphinx. It's been foretold that this vast knowledge would once again be spread to mankind from a secret library housing a complete history of mankind, forgotten religious text, and technological blueprints. Egyptian authorities deny that there's a door on the monument's head, but an aerial view shows that there is some kind of entrance, later covered up with a porthole. Around 1798, Vivant Denon etched an image of the newly discovered Sphinx still buried up to its neck. And interestingly, though, it depicts a man being pulled out of the hole at the top of its head. It's worth noting that the Egyptians liked to place depictions of lions near doorways as heavenly protection, which the Sphinx body is clearly that of a lion's. Could he be the guardian of lost texts of the Atlanteans? The Minister of State for Antiquities may know. Zahi Hawass passes on questions regarding any secret city and denies having explored one of the chambers from a rear entrance that was well documented just a few years ago. He still insists that these entrances are simply doorways to nowhere. And if you're ready for part 2, click here or check out some of my other content. Hit like, subscribe, and I will see you all very, very soon.